I don't need a mic.
Oh.
I really liked it. You know, it's our second gig together, you know, with the Houdinis, and it's a blast for us because we can really take it to whatever level we want to take it to. These guys are great musicians, and you know, I think I could keep up with them. You know, and for me, it's always a charge. You know, I think they feel the same way.
How do you feel about it?
Well, for us, it's really unbelievable to play. You get Mr. Vannelli get the best out of us, dynamics and all the music. He keeps us involved really to the deepest of our soul, I should say. But it was a hard time, but it was really nice to play, and still unbelievable for us. So yeah, I'm still enjoying it.
Why unbelievable?
Well, unbelievable because you know, for us he is kind of a legend. And when I was young, it's not that long ago. I mean, you know, we had all his records and we listened to his music, and then suddenly, you know, while we were playing, we realized that we were playing with Mr. Vannelli himself, and that makes it really, yeah, unbelievable. That's what I mean.
Was it very different from your own style, Angelo?
Angelo.
Wil je vasthouden?
Ik wil het vasthouden voor je, geen probleem. Was it different? Is Gino's music different from our own style? Not that much.
Not that much.
Not that much. I was really surprised because I know his music for a long time, of course, and Rolf told me, hey, listen, man, we're going to play with Gino Vannelli. I said, wow. But then at first I go like, well, yeah, it's nice, but how are we going to fit in? And the guys made some really, really astonishing arrangements and using all Gino's dynamics. And we were rehearsing and playing, and it was like, hey, man, like Gino is a seventh Houdini. It's really, really, really great. I mean, it's Gino's harmonic concept is fantastic. It's really, really rich. His dynamic concept is really, really rich. So we all have the opportunity of really getting, as Rolf already said, really, you know, getting the best out of it. And he hears everything, so you've got to be really, really focused. Make sure you don't screw up anything. You know, just stay there. Yeah, yeah. Just stay there, and it's really fantastic. It really amazed me quite a lot. It feels really, really comfortable playing with him, and which is really, really cool, because I mean the band is existing for 20 years now, and we've done so many different projects, and it's always you know the question, does one fit in or not? But in this case, it's, you know, really, really perfect.
Well, it's a great story you just told us, but the true story is, was he difficult to work with?
Very. Man. No, the thing is, everybody is moving, you know, in their career. So everybody is moving towards different musical directions, and we are doing that in our own career, and Gino is doing that. And of course, we're following him for a long time. So you know what you can expect, and it's actually the same direction of you know, you take as a band and Gino, you take the same direction. You want to make and you want to play beautiful music. So it's as Angelo said, he's one of the band members, and of course, you know, it's his music, so he decides, and he has a tremendous idea about dynamics and form. We made the arrangement, but you know, Gino changed it for the better, actually. You know, so it's really easy. Everything, you know, everything goes automatically. So it was fantastic.
A general question about getting inspiration. Maybe some of you want to tell me about that. Do you have a ritual about it? I cannot hear that again.
At the morning I get up and I eat some food, and then I get inspired. Inspired, that's it. Okay. And I listen to some records of Gino, and then I'm in the mood to...
So he's your inspirator?
Well, in this case he is, yes. If I play with Gino...
Was this a dream come true?
Yeah, in a way, yeah. It wasn't my only dream, but it was a dream, and it came true. My worst nightmare. No.
You combine a lot of styles. Can I say that you can have one style, or is it always a combination of styles?
I don't know of any composer that I like. I'm sure the boys agree that doesn't use many styles. I mean, whether it was Bartok or Ravel. I mean, they always took some elements of 17th, 18th century structure, and then they started fooling around with all kinds of, whether it be Basque music or folk music from Bartok's or Hungarian dances. People always, Stravinsky did the same thing too, and then those guys were really the forefathers of jazz too, because you can find every chord harmony and all those pieces. So I think for me, fusion of many styles of music is always important. But the things that gives it your own voice is your own life and your own experience and your own way of thinking. In my case, I happen to be a singer that composes, so I am limited to my own structure, my vocal box, so I can't help it. I compose for my voice. And then I happen to like poetry, and I write poetry. So many times I write the poetry first and put it to music. So, there's got to be, I wouldn't say a compromise, but there's got to be a hand-in-hand cooperation between the poet and the composer. And that, in the end, those limitations give it a style. I give it my own voice. Same thing with the guys. Everyone's got their favorite licks and their favorite way of playing. And little limitations actually, carefully used with no nonsense and good judgment creates a style. Because if everybody could do anything at any time, you'd have a white sheet of paper.
Yeah.
You just play every note.
Tell me about jazz.
Ooh, that's a long story. Well, how many minutes do we... Well, what do you want to know about jazz? The short version. There's a lot of jazz going on in Holland, that's true. There are a lot of musicians. There are not so many clubs to play, but somehow, it's because there's so many people on a small country like this. A lot of things happen. There's a lot of interaction because we don't live that far apart. So if you live in Sweden, you have to play in Stockholm, and the other day in Göteborg, it's a lot of traveling. So there's a lot of interaction. We don't make any arguments about, it's difficult to rehearse or whatever. So we're sitting with a bunch of great jazz musicians and young people like Jasper, We didn't discover him. Angelo already played with him, so we invited him, and it's unbelievable how many young jazz musicians are coming. There are saxophone players of 18 years old, 20 years old, and they are, like me, they're very intelligent too. And if they think about, like me, about concepts, that's also, it's not, you have an ego in the 20s, and then after that you have to think about it. You have to think about music. And that's the strength of the Houdini's too. We think about, you're good in there. We think about concepts. It's not only an ego document, like, okay, I want to play it the best I can. Now, the other things is, what can we do with each other and make some sort of new styles? It's not only the bebop or the funk. No, we try to mix it up.
I think we have a common philosophy too. I think we're brought up on the same records. We all love the great jazz records of the 50s and 60s. And these guys, also, are classical music devotees. They understand classical music as a background. And then also, by the same token, everybody understands pop and rock music. They grew up on it. They understand how to create an extra kind of edge, which really ends up being a little more fusion. Because what we're doing, obviously, together is a fusion of many styles together, whether it be blues and jazz and slightly classical, pop, mainstream, a little bit here and there. So all these little influences coming together. And everybody's heard and been brought up on the same kind of music. So our language or vocabulary is very, very similar.
You also work with Michiel Borslap.
Yes.
Also a Dutch man.
Yes.
Do you see similarities?
There's similarities. I was just talking with Erwin here that Michiel and I are getting ready to get together in Oregon to demo songs for my next coming CD. And I've just been talking to Erwin about the Houdinis. If they're interested to partake in the CD, I'd really like their sound, and maybe we could create something that's our own unique sound for the CD, and maybe even expand it to a complete Dutch effort. Maybe get the Metropole involved, maybe a couple of other Dutch artists. Because personally, the Houdinis and Michiel are very, very good examples. I think Holland is a renaissance for music. I've been all over the world. I mean, I travel all over the world. I perform everywhere. And when I come to Holland, I see people that are very dedicated, still a little bit innocent. They're not jaded. They're not cynical about music. They understand all the sorts of music, and musicians are working musicians here. Pity, but in the United States, a lot of great musicians are no longer working musicians. They have to get day gigs because they just can't find gigs. Whereas in Holland, I'm surprised how many musicians are actually working musicians, and that they actually earn a living doing this, and damn good musicians. So I'm thinking that it's maybe time that the Dutch invade the world again. This time with music.
Invade the world. Well, I want to thank you, every one of you, for this interview. And I think I have enough. Thank you.
You did a good job.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, good.